Okay, so on to the next track in Sammy's Casual Sonic Monster series. This has been a fantastic series so far. Lots of interesting songs, a great variety of music, and I'm sure you guys will love it. We just came off a Tool reaction that was really, really interesting. I'm still thinking about it now. But yeah, now it's time to move on into another artist. I don't think we've ever actually reacted to it. I think I might have reacted to one. I'm not sure. This does sound familiar, Incubus, the actual name. I've never heard Incubus Drive. I might not have heard this at all. Maybe I'm just thinking of something else entirely. But yeah, Incubus Drive, never heard this before. If you're only hopping on now, I suggest you go back and listen from the beginning of the series, because it really is quite an interesting series. Let's rock and roll, man. Let's see what we got. Never mad at that acoustic guitar.
Sometimes I feel the fear of uncertainty stinging clear, and I can't help but ask myself how much I let the fear take the wheel and steer. It's driven me before, and it seems to have a vague, haunting mass appeal. But lately
it's taken me before, and it seems to have a vague, haunting mass appeal. That's actually very clever, because it seems to have a vague mass appeal in terms of like how it actually takes over a large majority of society. A lot of people operate, well, I'd say the majority of people operate from a space of fear, right? All of the insecurities and everything is from a space of fear. It's literally just kind of like a funnel that always goes down. And for some odd reason, regardless of what it is, it always funnels down to death, right? It's always that death is the main sort of like driver of all fear, right? So there's actually a really interesting psychological there's a very interesting psychological literature on that. I can't remember the book that I read. It's actually all my wife's books. I love reading her psychological books. They're actually unbelievably interesting books, right? And it's mainly textbooks. But yeah, it's crazy how that all comes down from that fear comes down to a space. At the root of all of that is like death. It's like that finality, essentially. And that's why everything that actually happens in our existence, whether it be something small and mundane, just depending on our past and our trauma, right? And how much weight you're consistently carrying, even a small sort of like hump in the road can feel like the whole world has just collapsed. It's something you can get over, but it kind of becomes the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? Which plays into all of the insecurities, plays into the fear, and it feels like the world is over. There's very interesting theories on that. But yeah, I actually really like that line over there.
Appeal. But lately I'm beginning to find that I should be the one behind the wheel. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there with open arms and open eyes, yeah. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there. I'll be to waver my chance to be one of the hive.
That's crazy. That's actually alluding to suicide over there.
If I decide to waver my chance to be one of the hive.
So if I decide to waver my place in the hive, essentially, right? So in this network, one of the worker bees, right? The people in society, if I decide to waver that and be like, I don't want to be part of it. I mean, he could be talking about suicide over there. He could be talking about removing himself from this world, right? So from this hive. or he could just be saying him removing himself from the humdrum of society, where everything is sort of like hexagonal and formulated, and everything is the same. It's all these cubicles, and all we doing are we just, we're here to work, get up, work, produce, and then go back to work and things like that. Like that's what we're for. Which I like the actual whole analogy of the beehive analogy is actually quite clever. I'm not entirely sure if he's alluding to the suicide part or just literally removing himself from society itself and going down a more creative route to that'll sort of like free his soul, right? So that he doesn't live in the space of fear. I don't know.
Will I choose water over wine and hold my own and drive? Given me before, and it seems to be the way that everyone.
So I think there he's kind of he's playing into the atheism card, where he's like, well, I choose to drink water over wine, because in biblical times it was actually water was turned to wine by Jesus, right? So he's basically saying that that's what man drinks. It's usually what's used to also celebrate a lot of the religious holidays is wine. So that plays into religion. So he's probably saying over here, I don't know for sure, but saying if I decide to drink water over wine, right, in terms of like turning away from religion to a certain degree, I'm not sure. That's, I mean, it could be. It sounds like that.
Given me before, and it seems to be the way that everyone else gets around. Lately, I'm beginning to find that when I drive myself, my life is found. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there with open arms and open eyes.
Okay, so it's definitely not playing into the suicide factor, because the actual hook over here is like, whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there with open arms and open eyes. I like that, because he's open to change, he's open to evolving and getting better. So that other line didn't really play into the suicide. I actually think that other line played into the societal structures, in terms of like removing himself from a indoctrinated societal view of the world and following his dreams, right? Okay, anyway, carry on.
I'll be there with open arms and open eyes, yeah. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Ooh, I like the instrumentation of this.
Choose water over wine, hold the wheel and drive. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there with open arms and open eyes, yeah. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there. I'll be
Also, that water, would you choose water over wine, could also play. It could play to the religious aspect of it, or it could also just play to the sort of the opulent, luxury, elite aspect of it, right? So it's almost in terms of like, would you choose humility over royalty? Because the royals used to drink wine essentially, whereas the liquid of the poor was water, but it was more hydrating, right? It was better for the body, right? It refreshed the body, it hydrated the body. It was good for the body, essentially. So he also could be playing into the wine being the sort of like hedonistic side of society, and then water being the pure side of society, essentially, right? So removing himself from the fame and all that type of bullshit that actually does nothing for the soul, and going for something that actually revitalizes, refreshes the soul. I don't know. I mean, obviously you can go whichever way you want with that.
I'll be there.
That was actually a very cool song. I actually really enjoyed that. The lyrics were also great, man. I love lyrics like this where it actually gets you thinking, and you can go either way with it. You know, lyrics that are substantive and introspective. I love music like that. You know, we don't have much of that music today anymore. It's just it's all very diluted and one-dimensional. But yeah, I actually really like that. You guys let me know what you think down below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace!